Mariner fans, welcome back to another episode of Monday Mojo. We are coming at you live on a Sunday. No, dude, we got to stop doing that because we're coming at you on a Sunday and we're dropping it on Monday.
Start it over.
Monday Mojo dropped on a Sunday or shit.
Yeah,
right.
Monday and I kind of like how you started off every week with Mariner fans.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Maybe do that again. Maybe try that. Maybe try that.
Maybe.
3.
Mariner fans, welcome back to another episode of Monday Mojo. We just had our first week of full week of baseball. And the M's came home and we got to see baseball in Seattle. So spring is officially back and summer is on its way. And hell yeah, boys. Let's go M's.
It was a great
Matt Brash with his first win.
Matt Brash with his first win. Julio with his first RBI.
Right.
We're seeing a lot of things fall into place. Jesse Winker is just a boss. I just thought I'd throw that out there. Plug for Jesse.
Well, his average doesn't say he's a boss, but he has 10 walks, which leads the AL.
Okay, fair point.
I
am someone that does judge someone by their batting averages, which I don't think.
That's
I think
stupid.
it's ridiculous. Well, I think it's ridiculous that you think it's stupid. That's how you judge how good a batter is.
It's not this early, though.
Anyway, so you're right. It is early. We got Mitch Haniger on the COVID list, which is really annoying.
Well, we got to see Toro today. And I said, you put that out there that Mitch is gone, and obviously that sucks, but it's like, Toro's been on the bench and we wanted to see, him get into the lineup. And then he came in today and he had a double that replaced Kelenic at second base. And did he get the RBI, or I think he did, right?
Toro got an RBI.
Yeah,
after Kelenic.
Yeah,
right.
Hey, hats off to Kelenic and Toro back-to-back hustle doubles out the box. Jared Kelenic last year, he said, quote, I'm going to paraphrase it, but it was something along the lines of growing up, his dad always told him, you hit that ball, you're running out the box thinking double every single time. And you see that today, in real time. And he gets in there real quick. And then Toro, next at bat, sharp line drive to right field, hits the wall, and he's hustling his ass off, and he just beats the throw. And so you just got to love that hustle out the box, man.
Yeah.
Did you hear that people were chirping Kelenic?
Yeah, I was at that game and I was in the beer garden on Saturday.
I hate to see that.
I didn't hear it from where I was, and I was pretty far away, I guess. But yeah, apparently after the game, I'm not sure what people were saying, but yeah, they were chirping him.
Just
like Mariner fans,
right? Yeah.
What were they just calling him trash? And
yeah, I mean, we don't have any verbatim like quotes that we heard from these heckler fans who they call themselves fans, but I mean, you're getting after a kid that is still figuring it out. He had a nice second half for us last year. Not even second half, but a nice September for us last year, and he's trying to get it figured out. We can see it. He's pressing at the plate. I just like what he did today. That might, help him shut these fans up. But how can you even call these people fans that are they're chirping their own guys? Come on.
Well, I know. And one thing that bothers me about that, I had no idea, but Kelenic, he's not the most. You can see he's got like a short fuse. Or, and he's not the most sound of mind. Why are you rolling your eyes, Chris?
You talking to me?
No. Yeah. You.
I'm not rolling my eyes at you. No, I just got something to say after this. I'm not rolling.
Yeah. Chris rolled his eyes at me too, because I said,
I'm not rolling my eyes.
I'm just saying. Yeah. I'm just saying these hecklers that are chirping at Kelenic. I mean, that's not the right person to do it to, because
let's just let Sobba get what's on his mind.
Yeah. I don't know why you're thinking.
It's got
Chris.
nothing to do with you guys. It's just because I agree with these people who are chirping Kelenic. I'm assuming there are like a ton of other guys that I spoke with in the beer garden. Conversations of people like who in our lineup can hit, like people just still like not knowing who's on our team. and not knowing where they've come from, how we've gotten them. And they're just like, who the hell is this guy? This isn't Kelenic, but they're like, who's this guy with this ugly ass hair? And I'm like, that's Eugenio Suarez. That guy loves life. He positive
not
vibes.
ugly.
And right, it's not ugly. And like Eugenio Suarez does that because he's like, I'm going to be myself. And for me to play the best baseball I can play, I'm gotta act like myself. And so he likes to mess around with his hair. Who gives a shit? But point being is the people I was talking with, none of them understand yet who these guys are. And I was trying to tell them, I was like, Eugenio Suarez leads the league in home runs over the last 4 years. Jesse Winker was an all-star. Adam Frazier was an all-star. Robbie Ray, the reigning Cy Young Award winner. And people just don't, they're fans, but they're not up to date with who these guys on our team are.
Yeah.
So after this series at home, when I know it was tough being in the Midwest, playing in freaking Minnesota, and then going to Chicago where the weather sucked so much ass from start to finish, and God, man, just finally getting to come home under the roof, with our own fans, seeing the boys back in action and absolutely shove it to the Astros. I mean, we go 11-1 in the first game with Marco looking like a damn stud. And I love that he looked like a damn stud, because last episode I was talking about how I've been nervous about Marco for the last, year or so. Just like I haven't felt fully confident in Marco being Marco.
Right.
But he comes in, he shoves, and our bats are on fire. And that was the first home game of the year against the Stros. I mean, you can't script that.
That was critical to come out of the gates like that.
Critical.
It really was. Because we against the Twins and the White Sox, you can say what you want about the pitching, but like we have good enough bats to put up legitimate numbers. Mm-hmm. And Friday night, Sobba and I went to the ballpark. Beautiful day, a little bit chilly for my taste, but we showed up. And then Sobba went back on Saturday because he's obsessed. He's a fanboy. And Evan Barron went with his mother on Sunday afternoon, the matinee game. That's beautiful.
I just want to get your guys' take. What was it like being back at the ballpark this year? What was the vibe at T-Mobile Park? The energy, what was it like? Just give it to me. What was it?
It's beautiful. It's back. Baseball's back. And I mean, just seeing
Sobba was he was making buddies behind us too. Obviously.
Yeah, I was making buddies with everybody, talking Mariners, that's how I do. No, but like one thing that was, I don't want to say annoying, because it means that a ton of people are at the park, but those lines for food, you're sitting in that line, food or beer, you're sitting in there for about like 45 minutes to an hour. It's pretty brutal. But as I'm in line, like complaining with people, I'm like, hey, but guys, this means we have a shit ton of people here. So that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's true.
But man, just being able to go, like we didn't know what to expect with the bats. We've been waiting for the bats to heat up, right? And we've been talking about how powerful our lineup could be. And just to finally see people string, every single batter on Friday got a base knock. And Eugenio got that base knock with the home run. He had gotten a walk, I think, prior, but he got that home run to make it 11, and that got everybody to get a hit that night. And on top of the 13 hits we had that night, I believe we had 6 walks as well. And so that's 19 base runners. That's a lot of base runners and a lot of runs that was
a lot of traffic on the bases.
A lot of traffic on the bases, and we were taking advantage of it. And so, man, just being back though, like being back, walking. We were driving to the stadium, and I kept playing "My Oh My" because it's a beautiful, beautiful song, right? But as I'm saying this, big bone to pick with the PA system, whoever the hell. After during the 7th inning stretch, Max and I, 7th inning stretch is Friday night. Max and I, hands and shoulders, we're going back and forth, root for the Mariners, and that take me out to the ball game ends, and I'm sitting there waiting for Louie, the best song ever to come back on, and all of a sudden it's "The City Can't Hold Us" by Macklemore, and I'm like, my guy, like this is not what I'm expecting, and. All right, maybe this is what they're doing for opening day. Okay. Macklemore was there. All right. Maybe we're just doing this for opening day. Saturday, my ears were perked. I was listening. I was waiting. Damn it, man. Same thing. City Can't Hold Us, not Louie. And I don't know, man. Is this going to be a yearly thing or a daily thing?
Evan, what did they do? What did they do in the Sunday game?
They played Macklemore again as well. And to add to you, Sobba, actually, there are some fans that I was sitting by that were complaining that Louis wasn't playing after that. So it's a thing actually for real.
Oh my God.
This
Yeah.
is-
Twitter's been going crazy.
This is a
Twitter's
movement
been going
that
nuts.
we can support, that we can sponsor. I'm thinking Monday Mojo takes to the internet and says, and leads some sort of petition to bring back Louie. That's absurd.
I did say this to you though, Max, on Friday. I don't know how many years we've been playing Louie as the follow-up song to take me out to the ball game in the 7th inning stretch.
Yes.
But I do know for the last 20 years, we haven't made the playoffs. So if that's been the song for the last 20 years, you know, maybe we need to switch it up. I'm just trying to find a silver lining here.
You have a point.
I'm probably gonna break you guys' hearts. I'm not a Macklemore fan at all.
That's not breaking my heart.
That's not breaking our hearts.
You're talking about how you're playing My Oh My.
Because My Oh My is a come on. My Oh My. You don't have to be a Macklemore song.
I mean, I don't even like My Oh My.
It's probably my favorite song by him, but I'd really don't like Macklemore.
No, yeah, I mean, we're on the same page. Dude.
I do have a soft spot for Macklemore because freshman year at University of Montana, Macklemore came to visit, and me and my buddies, we got free tickets to the concert, and it was on a Friday. And every Friday, we were in college, we didn't have much money. We would go donate plasma. You know, you get paid for donating plasma. It takes the blood out.
You would, dude.
It takes the plasma out. You put the blood back in. You're fine. Anyways, it does help with getting intoxicated a bit easier as well. You know, and so Macklemore concert night, and we go donate plasma, and then we go get, you know, like an 18 rack, and we pound some beers, and we're having a great time. I'm in the middle of the concert, and all of a sudden Macklemore, he stops rapping. He goes, all right, who wants to freestyle? Everybody's hands go up. Everybody's hands. He goes, you, red hat, yellow polo. And I'm like, oh shit, I got a red hat. I'm wearing a yellow polo. He's like, get up here. So I get pulled up on stage, and I go rap freestyle in front of everybody with Macklemore right there. And I thought that was pretty tight. So I got a soft spot for Macklemore there. But Zweifel, don't get it twisted. I have never, except for My Oh My, I've never gone onto Spotify and typed in Macklemore.
No, for sure.
Slow down. How'd you do on the freestyle?
I got a free CD. I mean, I wasn't very good.
You didn't answer my question. You did not answer my question.
You were so good. You win this album.
Yeah, how was the freestyle?
Again, man, I prefaced it. I donated plasma before. I was on a vibe, and I was pretty messed up. I was a freshman in college. I mean,
so good, bad.
The next 2 weeks, people were coming up to me saying, hey, you were the guy on stage. You were the guy on stage. I was
okay.
famous.
That's a little bit closer to the answer we're looking for. We're looking for a one word adjective. My answer. Yeah. One word adjective. Good. Okay.
I was not good.
Okay. All right.
Fair enough. I appreciate that answer.
I know that you don't have any flow. So
see, that's the thing though. Macklemore, I asked, I said, how was it? He goes, you have flow. That's what he said. He said I have flow. And so he didn't say I was good, but he's like, you have flow, and kind of said it with a question mark. But his words,
flow.
Yeah, his words, not mine.
Hey, look, Macklemore, great to see another Seattleite make it. So to that, it's very upbeat music, and you know, times are changing with the generation. But like, you have to. I mean, like, Gen Z probably isn't listening much to Macklemore.
They might be.
What's the one thing they got right?
I don't know, man. I think Gen Z might be all over Macklemore.
Anyway, let's get back into a little bit more on the Mariners here. Saw Matt Brash twice in this 6-day span. Yeah. He got his first win today, as we talked about. Since it's a little fresher, I might start with that. No.
Let's start with the effectively wild day Matt Brash had.
Oh, you
carrying a no into 6.
Yeah. So that was the thing that I came to feel about the start, is that he was effectively wild. I mean, 6 walks, and he walked the first batter in every inning from the I think the first 4 innings, and he was able to get 4 double plays. It might have been
it might have been 3 double plays with the strike him out, throw him out.
Right. So he goes 5.1 innings pitched, 2 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks. But just like you're talking about, he took that no hitter into the 5th inning to the 6th inning.
Through 5 into 6.
Yeah.
No. Sorry, into 5.
Yeah.
He only went 5 and a third. He went 5 and a third. Yeah.
But I mean, you gotta love what the kid's coming out and doing. As your 5th starter, he's got that electric stuff. And one thing that I noticed about him that if you're watching pitchers that have a really effective slider, they got to play it off of a fastball, but you want the arm slot to be the same. So his arm slot, I was watching their doubling over videos of him throwing a fastball and then coming back with a slider. His arm slot is action. He doesn't give away anything. It looks exactly the same, which is what you want to see for a guy with swing and miss stuff. He's never going to be a guy that goes out and pitches like a Flexen or something and is just mixing 4 pitches and getting ground balls. He's a swing and miss pitcher. And what that means is that he's got to start off and get strike one, which he wasn't doing. He was walking guys. And so he got out of a little trouble with those double plays. But if the fastball is playing and he can start dotting it in the strike zone better and get off to 0-1 start, get to 0-2, and then let that slider eat like we talked about last episode, he can be amazing. He can be really good. I don't want to see too many starts like this because I think there's no way that 6 walks you can duplicate that and have a good start. You know, if you keep doing that, these guys are going to tag you and you're not going to be able to get out of innings with double plays. But
yeah, exactly.
It's like we said, he was effectively wild, and it worked out for him.
Yeah. And then Andres Munoz, who I just want to talk about again. I was MLB Network, or it was MLB Network, and then on a random broadcast, it was nobody in the AL West, I believe, but it was a random broadcast. I saw somebody tweeted it out that they started talking about this guy, Andres Munoz from Seattle. And the announcer's like, remember that name, Andres Munoz. And they were talking about how the slider he has is unreal. And then Andres Munoz, he threw the 2 fastest pitches in Mariners history, going at 103 miles per hour. The guy's got gas, man. And he is going to be a force to be reckoned. I mean, our bullpen, man, it's still dominant. And you can see Paulie Sewald coming in today, that 95 mile per hour up high and tight to Kyle Tucker. I think it was his last strikeout. It got him looking. And with that, we'll go back to the arm angle, Zweifel with Brash. It's kind of similar with Sewald in terms of how it's being delivered. And it's decisive when you have a fastball coming at you kind of from a not sidearm, but kind of.
Do you mean
like
deceptive?
What did I say?
Decisive.
Decisive? I didn't mean deceptive. I didn't mean deceptive.
It's deceptive.
But you see that arm angle in that fastball, 95 up high and tight to a lefty. It's tough to hit, man. And Pete Woodworth told Paul Sewald, he's like, if you can land your fastball high and tight to batters and your slider, low and away, you have these 2 spots where those pitches are pretty much unhittable. And that's what he was able to do again today. And then Diego Castillo, I mean, I'm pleasantly surprised so far. There haven't been any real big roller coasters. I'm pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, I agree. Let me ask you this. Who do you guys think is going to be like our go-to closer for the year?
We're not going to have a go-to closer. High leverage situation. Whatever the highest leverage situation is, if it's the 8th inning and we're going through 1, 2, 3, we're going to put in our best reliever. Do
you think, that's a good point. Do you think that's kind of like a new way of thinking about you think of a Mariano?
It's definitely a way that Service implemented last year. I mean,
yes,
yeah,
we saw it with him last year. And when you have so many good options, you have Steckenrider down there who can close games.
Right.
Sewald can close games. Giles, who's going to be coming back. Munoz looks like he has a high leverage stuff. Diego Castillo closed games for the Rays. I mean, we have a ton of different guys, and it's just going to kind of come down to who didn't pitch the last day, you know, because if Sewald and Steckenrider went the last day, it's probably they're going to turn it over to someone else. But it's like Sobba was saying, in those high leverage situations, he's going to be looking through and saying, you know what, I think Sewald's stuff plays pretty well against these next 3 hitters, or I think Steckenrider, but what we're going to be able to do. And I think that the Mariners and a lot of other teams, if you're looking across baseball because of the shortened spring training, they're getting the starting pitchers out a little bit earlier than probably when we grew up watching baseball, we were used to. It seemed like
true.
When we were growing up
Clayton Kershaw getting pulled with a freaking perfect game, man. Are you
kidding
me?
Well, and did you hear what he said about that? He goes,
he was on board with it.
Yeah. He was like, don't blame
Dave Roberts.
Dave Roberts. He goes, don't blame Dave Roberts. He goes, we had a shortened spring training, and he blamed the lockout. So, and to go back to what I was talking about is that we're going to start seeing all across baseball, this implemented. But when you have a good bullpen, man, and you can go, the last 4 innings are 4 different dudes and they all go 1 inning, or you even mix in like a Masevich for one of those innings to split with another guy. You go 5 relief pitchers for the last 4 innings to end the game. And I think we're totally comfortable doing that. And we have all the ammunition to do it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I agree with you that I like the way that Castillo has looked. For me, he has big Fernando Rodney vibes to him.
Yeah, I know you've said that before. Said that before, man. But another thing, we can't forget Yohan Ramirez in the 8th inning on Friday night.
Can we forget?
No,
I think we can forget him.
The 8th inning on Friday night, Jose Altuve is up to bat in 3 deathly sliders in a row to K Altuve, and the fans were letting him have it, man. And that's something I realized this weekend is I like last year, right, was kind of the for lack of better terms, the redemption tour. More like, okay, here, no, the shame tour for the Astros, right? Because we had COVID the year before. We hadn't really had an opportunity to let them know how we felt in real person, in live. And last year I thought, like this is where I'm still personally going to be at these games, like dressing as Oscar the Grouch, doing all this shit. And this year, for me, I'm kind of like, I don't want to say I'm over it because I'm not over it. And I don't think anybody's ever going to be over it. But you hear Altuve coming to the plate. You hear Bregman coming to the plate, all those other guys. And the fans, everybody is still letting them have it. And I freaking love it, man, because the boos are loud as shit. And when Altuve struck out, the stadium blew up, man. Everybody was on their feet. And I love it. Yohan Ramirez looked nasty with those 3 sliders to K Altuve throwing a sword at that last one.
I ask you the question, why would you let him off the hook? I mean, why would you get it over it? Not a lot of the players, but some of the players have moved on. Correa's gone, Springer's gone. Yeah. But when, if they were all still there, it might be a little bit tiresome to boo every single guy on their first, second, third at bat. But right now we're looking at 2 main guys that you're booing. You're booing Bregman and Altuve. And they had that press.
Well, Uriel Gurriel, he's still getting at it.
Well,
Michael still got booed. 2
main guys, and I don't think Brantley really.
He still got booed though.
I know, but okay. So whatever, drop that. But I'm gonna boo Altuve and Bregman till the day I die, or till they leave the Astros. I mean, dude, their apology was so weak, and it seemed like they were. I mean, Correa was right there, but they seem like the 2 main guys to me, that especially because they got up on the mic and tried to do that weak ass apology.
Well, how did that weak ass apology sound?
I mean, it was like,
I don't think they actually ever said sorry. They didn't even admit to it.
It was like they read the apology. Like, we are.
It wasn't even an apology.
Sorry.
It was more like acknowledging the situation.
Like it happened. I'm like, yeah, we know it happened. Now,
no shit.
Why did you do it?
But to answer your questions, Weifel, I don't know why I was thinking that I would have more so time has passed, everything heals with time, right? As they say. And I was just kind of like, I'm not going to say I'm not going to say I forgave them, because that ain't the situation. It's more so like, I got my shame tour out of the way, and I just didn't know what to expect this year. I just didn't know what to expect. But Max and I are walking into the stadium. Some dude has a trash can sign, says never forget. I'm like, my guy. All right. Give me some knucks. I went up to him and said, I appreciate you. And another hats off to the fans. In previous years, going into a game against the Astros, I would see a decent amount of orange. Quite a bit amount of orange throughout the stadium. And I saw very little these 2 games that I was at. Lots and lots of people decked out in their Mariners gear. And that's what you want to see, man. That's what you want to see, is the people supporting the team. And
I mean, that's ultimate. I mean, that's really what we need.
It is exactly
not just what we want to see. I mean, because what was it? I forget where I saw this, but the Mariners Instagram posted something around Jesse Winker saying a quote about, how
best
important
it is.
Yeah, best day of his life for opening a home opener, and how much, fuel it gives the boys out there. And I totally agree with him. I think this year. Hopefully we can see a lot more, especially with COVID being done.
Well, we thought it was done, but here we have Mitch Haniger.
Yeah, true.
God.
Well,
damn.
yeah, you're right. You're right.
On.
I'll rescind that, but it's much less lethal than it once was, and
what's really screwed up is that players going into Toronto when they have a home game, the unvaxxed players can't play, which I get it, but on home games, Toronto is going to be facing everyone's team at half mast. Oh. Maybe not half mast, and that's an exaggeration, but they're never going to face a team that's fully equipped and it's just bullshit because it's like you come in and let's say like I don't know. I can't give a random example of a player that's unvaxxed, but like a good player on a team.
Kendall Graveman, I know he's unvaxxed.
Yeah. So, how lucky for them that they're in Toronto and they don't have to play against Kendall Graveman. And there's going to be positional players that are even more impactful to the series that they're not going to have to face just because they're in Canada. I don't know what the MLB should do about it. Maybe they just friggin' drop the whole thing and be like, you know what? We're kind of over this thing. But it's just a weird advantage that they happen to gain.
Is that what happened or did that get taken into account when the projections came out about Toronto winning that division?
No, but people talked about it and they were pissed off that this is an unfair. I know that New York media covered it a lot because it's going to be a tough division race in the AL East. And, it could come down to one or two games and, you're playing 19 of them against a division opponent, right? And however many are on the road, or it's like, dude, that's a big advantage. It could come down to one.
It is what it is.
I'm scared. I
don't accept that it is what it is. It's like it's uniform rules.
Yeah,
this is BS.
I don't know, man. I know when if you have a DUI, you can't go to Toronto, and so for a professional athlete,
you can't go to Canada.
You can't. You can or can't.
You can't.
Yeah, you can't, and so.
Cannot.
I don't know how you can compare that really, but food for thought, I guess.
Yeah.
But I do want to talk about Mr. Adam Frazier because so it's cool because Adam Frazier, Jesse Winker, Eugenio Suarez, all of them, that was their first day ever in Seattle. Maybe not Frazier, but Eugenio and Jesse Winker. I know they had never been to Seattle before. And their first day ever was the home opener. And so as you're talking on Max, Jesse Winker's like, this is the coolest baseball game I've ever played in my entire life. And this guy's just been so high and not high and mighty. He's just been so high on the Mariners and where we're at as an organization, how freaking pumped he is to be here. And so that was tight. But back to Adam Frazier. I mean, that guy, he was still hitting the ball in Minnesota and in Chicago, but he was getting unlucky. And he was so unlucky that even one of the nights after the games, he wasn't in the best of moods. And he went to the ATM to pull out some money and he accidentally overdrew by $400 or whatever. Not overdrew, but he took out $400 extra. He's just pissed. He's like, nothing's going my way right now. Everything's bad luck. And Service told him, he's like, hey man, he was joking with them. He's like, when we get back home, that luck will turn around. And then he goes, 7 for 12 in this series. And that triple he had, maybe it was the double or the triple, but it was high out of the zone. A heater, very high out of the zone.
It was a triple. That was a
triple. Okay. Yeah. And man, just for his barrel to get to that ball, he was hitting the ball hard all weekend, it seemed like. And he was just not trying to do too much. He went opposite field. He pulled it. He went to center. He was spraying the ball everywhere as well as our boy JP Crawford, because dude, if we can keep having JP do what he does, batting in the 5th spot, batting in the 6th or 7th spot down lower there, and really turning it over to the top of the lineup, when you could have, you could have Adam Frazier, then Ty France, and then when not on COVID, Mitch Haniger. I mean, dude,
I would even say that he's hitting himself out of the 6th, 7th, 8th spot. I mean,
that's why he's at 5 now.
Yeah.
Last 2 games.
Yeah. And, Mitch is out like we talked about, but we could start seeing a 1-2 punch where Crawford actually goes back to leading off And then you see Frazier at 2, or even Frazier drops down to, I like Frazier at the top. I'll stick with him at 2. But you mentioned Jesse Winker too, that he's another guy that I'm not worried about, Winker or Frazier. Frazier turned around, so his numbers are starting to look a little better. Winker, like we talked about, he leads the AL in walks with 10. But I mean, talk about a guy that's been unlucky. He's hit a couple balls all the way to the wall. He had one robbed.
He got one robbed. Yeah.
He had one today where it looked like he slugged it. Just didn't get out. I don't know if it's just early baseball weather that, the ball's not really flying, but he's hitting the ball well. And I think you can just tell his approach at the plate is really good, and he's swinging at good pitches. So I don't know. I really like our lineup, and, to bring it back to JP, if those guys can stack at the top of the lineup, like a JP and Adam Frazier, and get on for guys like Ty France, our sluggers.
Well, I was going to say Ty France is right up there with them with the same amount of hits. I mean, Ty France is as important to JP and Adam as anyone else out there. Right. And Ty France is one of the guys you definitely want to see, not only a slugger, but like a contact hitter, where he's critical to.
I always feel like there's more power in Ty France than we've seen those.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He is a contact hitter as you're talking about. And he's a high on base percentage guy with getting hit as much as he does. I mean, I've never seen a guy get hit by pitches more than Ty France, but I mean, I think there is some power potential in Ty France that could be unlocked. And
he's unlocking it right now. That home
we saw it today. We saw it today. And
that was more center field, but yeah, it was technically opposite field. Sure.
Well, he was talking at the end of the game.
He didn't think it was going out.
Yeah. Jen Mueller was asking him. She was like, when did you know that ball was going out? He goes, to be honest with you, I didn't think it was going out. I knew it went out when it finally cleared the fence. Like, it's really hard to hit a ball out to that part of the ballpark, especially as a right-handed hitter, going a little bit opposite field to one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. But yeah, I mean, it's starting to round into shape. I think no one's talking about the fact that we faced maybe the toughest schedule to start the season.
Yeah. It ain't getting any easier with the Royals coming up either.
Yeah. I mean, first of all, we're hosting Texas first, which is going to be nice. Right. But yeah, the Royals, I don't know. I think for our boys to start, getting in the playoff mentality. Yes, it's very early on, and don't laugh at me for saying this already, but yeah, I think, the fellas need to get an idea of what reality is. Right. And I think we're going to smack the Royals. I think the reality is we need to put up more runs. And I think this last homestand is, we kind of came to that. We manifested that that reality.
Who just popped into my head when you guys said the Royals is Salvador Perez. If you remember what he did to us last year.
He did us dirty last year.
That's bad.
And they have the youngster there, Bobby Witt Jr., who's going to be going right head to head with Julio Rodriguez for the Rookie of the Year in the AL. So it'll be fun to have them in town. But yeah, I think that 5-5 over the first 3 series, and especially coming into this series, knowing that if we got swept by the Astros, like, they've big brothered us a lot. Not that I thought that was going to happen, but that was like a doomsday scenario. Mm-hmm. The fact that we won the series with Brash as our 5th starter, getting us the win, getting us the series win on the last day.
It's very promising.
Yeah. I mean, and we got completely shoved on by Verlander, which is, he's a Hall of Fame
vintage Verlander, man.
Yeah. He's a Hall of Fame pitcher, man. Yeah. And we scored 11 the first game, then Verlander shuts us down. And admittedly, I didn't know if it was more Verlander or us, but I think it's more Verlander because we came back today and started hitting again. So I'm encouraged. 5-5 is you want to avoid disaster. If you get off to a 2-8 start, that's when you can start to be like, damn, man, this was really not what we needed. 5-5, we're good. We're just playing 10 less games on the season. We're 0-0 right now.
Yeah. Since 2016, this was the 6th time in a single series that we have scored 18 or more runs. And that 16 was when the Astros came into the division. We've had, I don't know how many series with them, a number of them. And
they just kill us. 18
runs in this last series for those people that were, saying that they were worried about our offense, and they, they had reason to be worried. We didn't. Yeah, you and a lot of others. And we scored 18 runs in this last series with a goose egg on one of those games. So, I mean, the sixth time since 2016 that we scored 18 or more runs against the Astros, and it's in the first series against them of the year. If we can keep that train rolling, baby, it's sky's the limit.
Yeah, I agree. Well, I hate to rain on the parade, but one question I did want to ask you guys: Julio has the most strikeouts on the squad right now. He's got 16. I do want to add, because I haven't had a chance to see each and every one of his at bats. I mean, is he just getting unlucky?
I know
there's a few of them that he's definitely been hosed on by lousy ass calls.
Not a few.
Five. It's five.
I mean,
there were four. I saw a tweet or something, and this was maybe a couple of days ago, but one was a strike. It was of the 8 that he had been K'd on, backward K'd on.
Yeah.
One was a strike. 4 were very borderline, and then 3 of them were egregious. And not even close to the zone.
Yeah.
And so, but with that being said, I ain't worried about Julio in the slightest, man. He picked up the timing today on that 110 mile per hour single on the curveball, which, he'd been starting the way he'd been being approached by opposing pitchers. They were throwing off speed. He's just waiting for that heater. He's never getting it. He was never getting it those first couple of series. And he got his first hit at T-Mobile on Friday on a heater, I believe. And that was roped in the left field. And the single today, absolutely roped into center. And he's been hitting the ball hard. But as you also see, Julio, he is unfazed by he's just unfazed by, whatever it may be. And it's starting to slowly click. And when it really clicks, which is going to be soon, I mean, he's going to be in that running for Rookie of the Year. Stay healthy, knock on wood.
Yes.
But I mean, I'm pumped.
Hey, do we know anything about Kyle Lewis?
No.
Evan,
what? You got something on your mind?
It's this week.
It's going to be this week.
No doubt. Yeah, I was sitting in the beer garden, or even when Max and I on Friday, we were in right field, but especially when I was in the beer garden, because much better chance to catch a home run from Julio. I'm just like, God, I want to catch this so bad, because if you caught Julio's first home run ball, get your bargaining chips brought to the table, man. Yeah. And okay. Let's do this, boys. You catch Julio Rodriguez's home run ball. What are you asking for before you give them that ball? Max, you go. What are you asking for? What are you bargaining for?
Can Zweifel go for more? I'm not good at like appraising or valuing this kind of stuff. I don't know.
Because I'm not in Seattle, so I would have asked for season tickets. But
yeah,
I mean, I would just go with the usual. Like I want signed jersey, I want signed cleats, I want some sort of ticket package. I want everything. If they say no, bro, I still got the ball.
Yeah. So you're talking about giving the ball back?
Yes. So hold on. Let me say this.
I thought you meant like sell it on the market.
No. God, no. Julio's getting that ball.
Well,
if I catch the ball,
what I thought.
There's no way I'm not giving it to Julio. But there's also no way I'm not going to ask for something. And what I would ask for is every single player to have to come on to Monday Mojo.
Yeah. I was going to say, at the very least, he comes back on Monday Mojo.
Maybe Julio, but also every other active player on the 40-man roster.
I mean,
we have 40 weeks. I would set out a schedule where we have 40 weeks, the next 40 episodes. We got a guest.
Yeah.
And I'll even go as far as I need service on here. We'll get Perry back. Get everybody. Yeah. But the cleats would be dope. I'd ask for a bat as well, and then obviously season tickets. Got to get season tickets.
All right. I was about to throw out like a 5-figure number, right? Like I thought we were just talking about like, well,
monetizing it.
Yeah, I thought you were literally asking like, what would you do to monetize this?
Nah.
No,
you can do that. You can do that.
No, I realize
no. If you are a Mariners fan, and you
either keep that ball or you give it back to Julio.
Yeah,
and I think the bigger fan move would be to give the ball back to Julio in exchange for a couple favors, like people like us who have a podcast.
It's like Chris said. Either way, Julio's getting that ball. It's just, what are you getting in compensation?
Yeah, exactly. I would definitely ask for a handful of tickets. I don't think I'd ask for season tickets, but
go big or go home.
Yeah.
Why would you not
ask for season tickets for the rest of your life? They'll say no, and they'll be like, all right, fine, the next 5 seasons, and then maybe they'll be like, okay,
wow,
aim high, miss
damn
low.
You're good at that. I mean, when it comes to Mariner baseball, like you can negotiate the shit out of anything.
Yeah.
That's fun. Let me ask you guys this. The 3 catchers that we're working with, do you see one of them being more of like a concrete catcher?
Oh, Murphy's doing his thing.
I know Tom. You got Tom. I like the idea of Tom. All of a sudden, I was often pissed off by him last year. But then again, like Tom, Cal, Luis, Terrence, we're all inconsistent.
Luis threw a guy out today. I mean,
man.
People talk about, and I think when they talk about him being bad defensively, it's more about framing and blocking pitches. But I mean, throwing a guy out, that's less than 50% for sure. And so if you can do that, you're showing that you have some defensive ability. I think they want Cal to be the guy.
They do want him to be,
but to answer your question, in a way that I don't know. I don't think there's going to be one guy. I think it's going to be three guys, and I think you're going to see Terrence DH a lot. I think they're going to mix in Cal and Murph, but they want Cal to be the guy. I mean, he's the young prospect. He handles the staff well, probably not as well as Murphy, but he's a switch hitter. He has probably a little bit more potential with the bat. I mean, if Terrence could start to catch and really find himself behind the plate, he's the most valuable player of those 3. But I mean, we're kind of in the same state with Raleigh as we are with Kelnick, and maybe even Raleigh's a little bit behind.
He's behind.
Yeah. Is the fact that he's a young buck, but they see a lot of potential in Cal Raleigh, and they're going to wear that out until they see for sure that he's not the option.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're going to be going with 3 for a while until at least Kyle Lewis comes up, and then they have a tough decision.
Well,
there.
It's just like Cal Raleigh has so much goddamn potential, but it's like, at what point do you see like Service or Jerry start leveraging him as trade bait, or
I think it's too early to say that. I mean, I think they're in a comfortable spot where they don't have to make that decision.
Yeah, that's a good point.
They have 3 guys that Murph is kind of one of those leaders in the clubhouse as well, which adds intangible value. Cal's a young buck that they're giving a chance to, and then Terrence is that guy that, hey, if he can ever figure it out behind the plate, we really have something here. So for now, there's 28 men on the roster. Now that decision is going to be, you don't really see many teams carrying 3 catchers. I know we did last year with 26 men, but Kyle Lewis wasn't healthy. When Kyle comes back, there's probably going to be a Cal Raleigh down to AAA move.
Yeah.
I mean, if Tom Murphy can stay hitting at a nice even 500 with a 1.511 OPS,
I watched so much of Tom Murphy last year, and I get that he's in a way kind of he's a likable guy, and maybe a fan favorite.
He pissed Ty France off today. Ty France was very unhappy.
Why?
He ice bathed him twice. He ice bathed him twice today in the post-game interview. In the first one, he's like, that was unnecessary. And like, he's like, you could tell he's like kind of actually aggravated. Yeah. And then Murphy comes up and does it again. He's like, you got it. He's like clearly upset. And,
dude, I didn't see the second one.
Yeah.
even the first one, I was reacting to what you said. I was like, yeah, it didn't seem like it was no, I'm just joking, bro. It was like, dude, like, Too early, man. Too soon.
Yeah, too early. And then a second one comes in and he's just like, he's like, all right, we need to move around. So like they flipped from where they were standing. His back was to the dugout. So him and Jen Mueller flipped around. So his face was to the dugout and he could see if anybody was coming up to mess with him. But yeah, he was noticeably upset.
Tom Murphy is definitely one of those guys that takes jokes too far.
My kind of guy.
Also, on the last episode, we talked about the miscommunication with Winker and Julio and left and center field. I was listening to Winker on Dave Softy Mahler, and they were talking about that. They go, "You guys have a little bit of a mix-up out there," and he go, blah blah blah. He went in through his whole answer. He's pretty much a nonchalant answer, but at the end, he offers up I probably overreacted. I probably shouldn't have reacted the way I did, but it's early. We're learning each other. So it was more icy than we thought. It was a stern talking to, and Winker said, he goes, I probably overreacted a little bit. I shouldn't have snapped at him as it seemed like I did.
But then on Saturday night, Julio Rodriguez decides to cover 98 feet. And I got front row at the beer garden. I had a beautiful, beautiful angle of it. And I'm seeing Julio. I was like, I didn't think there was any issue that he was going to get to it. But then you see him lay out and he makes that diving catch. You're like, holy shit. Like that was a grab, man. So he's got, that sprint speed he's got is massive. And the MLB The Show, they had his sprint speed at like a 54. And I'm just like, you guys need to fix that because he's a lot faster than that. Yeah. So I don't know. He's not getting recognized by the MLB for his speed yet, but we know it. And seeing him cover that much ground and make that diving play in center field, even though we lost the game, you take the silver linings where you can.
Well, even
you're a big silver lining guy today, huh, Sobba?
Yeah, man. There's a movie by it, right?
There's a playbook. Actually,
yeah, that's a good movie. Bradley Cooper and Jennifer Lawrence, man, they kick some ass.
Hey, Sobba, have you played any more or I guess you have a PlayStation? Have you played any more live games with Fools online?
Oh, every day.
Well, how'd you do today?
Not yet today. It's been Easter. I'm going to play after this. After I. Yeah. I'm playing. I'll smoke some weed after this episode and play some show.
Well, why don't we get you to that then?
No, we don't got to leave yet because guess what? We haven't talked about. We haven't talked about how a 10-year, $300 million player and a 7-year, $275 million player who we wanted are coming to town. The Texas Rangers are coming to town.
Tejas.
Yes, and back to division baseball, baby. Or not back to it, just keeping with it.
Did you see the Angels intentionally walk?
Yeah. Corey Seager with the bases loaded.
With the bases loaded. Getting the Barry Bonds treatment.
Dude,
the Barry Bonds treatment. Yeah. The Barry Bonds treatment. And the camera panes over to Mike Trout. He's
I saw that, yeah.
What are we doing? And he counts. God. He counts. Mike Trout counts. He goes, 1, 2. There's 3 people on base. What are we doing, Joe Madden? And then they give him the Barry Bonds treatment. They walk him in.
I mean, the pitcher gave Joe Madden a death stare. It was like, are you kidding me right now, man? Like you have that little trust in me that I can't get Corey friggin' Seager out. Not that Corey Seager's not a great player, but to give a guy, we've only seen that. I mean, I've seen it. Maybe it's happened before Barry Bonds, but that's the only guy that I can think of that's been intentionally walked with the bases loaded.
And the Angels didn't it was
a 1-run game. It was 3-2.
But the Angels ended up winning.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Proof is in the pudding. Joe Madden would say that.
Yeah. It's a 1-run game. You give them you double their lead over you. My God.
Yeah, I don't know, man. It was a weird call. I don't know what the hell happened there. But what were we talking about before that we went down that one?
You're talking about how they're coming to town, maybe.
Oh yeah. They're coming to town, and I'm excited, man. If we can, I don't know. It's just nice to be able to be early in the season and to get these division games going. And I am just excited to see what we can do against these guys because Texas paid. They spent and they committed to 17 total combined years. A 7-year and a 10-year deal with those two, Semien and Seager. And so I don't know, man. The Rangers have always spent a shit ton of money and it's never really worked out to the extent that they've planned or hoped. And with with people being so mad that we weren't able to sign Simeon, and just the fans, I guess, with them being upset that we haven't spent a shit ton yet, but we're still proving that the guys that we have might be, and I don't want to say good enough to get us to the World Series, but we're going to be in a spot to where we still have money to spend, right? And we're going to be able to spend it when the time is right, when we know exactly what we need. But I don't know. It's exciting to have the Rangers come to town, and I don't know. Can't wait. We can't skip that, Max. You wanted to sign off early.
You know what I love is that on Tuesday, when they first get into town, is that their best pitcher, John Gray, is going up against us. He's the only guy that we got to worry about. But you know who we got going? Robbie Ray.
Robbie Ray.
You know Robbie Ray coming off 6.1 innings pitched, 10 hits, 6 earned runs, 4 Ks, 2 walks last time out. He's going to want to get this done. I mean, he's going to want to have a big bounce back. It's at home, first start in T-Mobile, and it's against their best pitcher. So if we can just kind of cancel them out, and then we got to go to work on their, I don't even know who they got. They have that bad of a.
Do they still have Fulton-Evich?
Probably, and JP's probably going to take him deep twice.
Dude, that's what I'm saying.
Dude, JP
home runs
owns.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah,
that's right. Oh my God,
absolutely owns Fulton-Evich.
Oh, dude, that's a lot of fun.
We need to figure out what I think they might be Polish, but Masevich and Fulton-Evich.
That's Polish.
They're Polish. Chris Sobba cannot say those last names. I mean, those Polish last names.
Every time Chris tries to say Masevich's last name, he's like, "Yeah, Masevich."
Anthony Masevich.
Yeah.
Anthony Masevich, and
Fulton-Evich.
Mike Fulton-Evich.
Yep.
I can say it.
That W really screws you up on the second half of the name.
Speaking, I can't even write W's, man. It's something like when I'm writing, on a paper, it's weird. I do a U and I can't get
arguably the easiest letter to do.
I can't get the second hump. I don't know. It's weird, but we don't need to talk about that.
That's odd.
What else you guys got?
Well, we got the Rangers, which you said they got John Gray. After that, hopefully the offense can do what the offense does and keep packing some bombs. And Eugenio Suarez, he hasn't gotten a single yet.
Yeah, he's just slugging.
Dude, he's slugging, man. Like, what if he goes for a 50-50 season, 50 bombs and 50 doubles?
What I wanted to talk about this Torrens comparison that I had.
Yeah, you did.
Do you guys see a little Luis Torrens and Eugenio Suarez? Suarez, obviously, like you talked about, I mean, led the league in home runs over the last 4 years. And I'm not saying Torrens has that kind of power, but look at the stances. Look at how it looks. They're straight up. They both got that oppo power. The swing looks similar. I think I like the way that it looks in my head. And I'm not saying they're the same player, but they feel very similar.
It's funny you say that, because I actually was seeing Eugenio Suarez up to bat and I thought it was Luis Torrens.
Right.
Yeah. So I can say they do look, their stance, their stature, their body, they do, and their swing. It does. I agree with that comparison. I do.
And I mean, remember that Torrens last year, we just started to see what his power potential could be. So if he has a breakout, if Eugenio comes back down to earth a little bit from the 50 home runs he had in 2019,
49,
it'll look more similar to you guys. I promise you that. That's all I got.
More familiar.
But what if Eugenio doesn't come down to earth? And what if Eugenio just smacks that ball around?
He's pretty much just Kyle Seager. I mean, from the right side of the plate, he's going to bat. I'm pretty sure his average.
I disagree. He walks way more, at least from what I've seen so far. Like Seager would strike out a lot. And I don't know.
Well,
it seems
they both strike out a lot. They might not be completely similar in walks. And I think Suarez might even have more power. But we're pretty much looking at a guy that's going to, in my opinion, is going to be below 230 hitter, but he's going to slug, and we'll probably see 30 to 35 home runs. And that's pretty much Kyle Seager.
It is exactly what I said when he came over, when we got him in the trade and we were looking at his stats and comparing them, and people who were upset that we didn't re-sign Kyle Seager, like, oh, what are we going to do to replace those 35 plus bombs, And then we looked at Eugenio, and he's the league leader in homers over the last 4 years. And he was at a $198 batting average last year, while Seager was at 212. But they're, as you're saying, his wife, the numbers are very similar. And I do agree that he is basically Seager, but I think the roof, maybe a little better. The ceiling is just much, much higher. One, because of age, and two, because I think of talent.
Yeah, I can get behind that. His ceiling is much higher. He could return to 40 home run status. I know that he was, and I don't think he will, but he was playing in a little league ballpark. What is it? Comerica? No, it's not Comerica, but Great American Ballpark in Cincinnati. It's one of the smallest fields. It's just a home run. It's a home run capital of the world. That's what I heard. That's what I heard.
Colorado, the home run capital.
I heard.
I'm just throwing it out there. It's a small ballpark. And so Winker and Suarez's numbers might be a little bit adjusted to T-Mobile Park, but for the most part, I think that we got what we paid for with Suarez, and we haven't yet seen what we're going to get in Winker. And I'm very confident in that.
I'm so confident in Winker. And Winker, his attitude is kind of similar to Kelenich's right now. You see him getting pissed.
I love Winker's attitude. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. At least Winker.
He's got a little skin in the game, right?
Yeah. I think Kelenich's attitude is just more like childish, to be honest. But Winker is just like a veteran being genuinely upset that he's not killing the game right now.
He's just got more wisdom. Like he knows that he's struggling, but it's not the end of the world. Kelenic is like, if I don't get this shit figured out.
Yeah. That's
but then I guess I don't know. I don't think it's fair to let one person get angry and to then be mad at another guy.
No, it is fair when you have credibility and you have like history and
you're an all-star.
Yeah, exactly.
Fair.
So I mean, I don't know. I just with JK would just take a deep breath and accept how good he's going to be at one point.
Yeah, and stop heckling fans.
That's why that needs to not happen. Like for fans, like what the hell, man?
Circular writing.
We're not the Yankees. We're not the Phillies. We're not gonna. No, that's not what we do. We are here to lift these boys up, and when they're home, we're gonna let them know that they're home, and we're gonna be behind them. Amen. And it was fun, man. Just to touch back on Evan's original question of what was it like, being back at the ballpark, and we went to tacos and tequila in the alley before the game. And we were just chatting with random people, man. And I was in line getting, shots and beer. And I was talking with this dude who's like, I don't know, 55 or something. He's like, and I was like, hey, man, like how pumped are you?
I remember baseball? You talking to this guy.
Yeah. I'm like, baseball's back. He's like, man, like, for me, like today is like super important. This is the first game I'm going to without my dad. And like, it's tradition for us. He passed away last year. It's tradition for us to go. And he's like, I got my stepdaughter with me. So we're starting this tradition this year. She's coming with me. And it's just, baseball's back, man. And people care a shit ton about what the Mariners are doing and where we're at. And so it's exciting times, man. Just get on the bandwagon, have fun. Don't heckle Kelenic because he's going to be just fine.
It's also going to, your heckling isn't going to help him. No. That's for damn sure.
No,
you may be frustrated, but that's just low class. But that's a great thing to wrap up on. Baseball is poetic. That's Sobba's favorite thing to say.
Baseball is so poetic.
And
I cried on opening day because I was so happy and excited. I tweeted that out or put it on Instagram. I'm sure everybody saw.
That is very true. Yes.
Yeah. I got a number of DMs. People were like, are you crying? And I was like, yeah, they're happy tears. I'm excited. Get off my case.
Well, fans and listeners, thanks again for listening. A reminder, if you're not already subscribed to any of our channels, get on that because we need numbers. Numbers helps us. It helps us realize if we're doing a shitty job or a really good job.
Well, we know we're doing a good job and we see the numbers. We see the numbers of the people that listen to us. We see that. We see where you're located, but transfer it over to YouTube, transfer it over to Instagram, transfer it over to everything that we're on. Follow us.
Well, see, that's what I was going to get at, but thanks for taking my thunder. Anyway, at the very least, thank you for listening. Baseball, well, I already said this, but signing off, I'm Max Schwabe with Chris Sobba, Chris Weifel, and Evan Barron. Go Mariners.